Today I want to talk to you about self-defense and how the snake diet is directly related to self-defense. The snake diet is related to self-defense because it helps you defend against yourself. The snake diet is asking you to be a different version of yourself, a more controlled version of yourself. It's asking you to be a complete warrior against your food demons, against your capacity to give in to your food cravings. It's asking you to defend, to put your best defense forward, meaning your body's natural inclination to heal itself, to protect itself against disease, obesity, high blood pressure, high cholesterol. It's asking you to defend yourself against yourself. Because those of you who are doing the snake diet, you know that once you take this thing on, the entire world, except maybe a handful of people that you know, are completely on your side. People hate what they do not understand, whether it's racism, whether it's math, whether it's the snake diet. When you don't understand it, it is not inviting to you, it's not attractive to you. When you don't understand it, and you don't have a willingness to understand it, the only reaction that you can possibly have to it is either to be indifferent to it and not think about it at all, or to have something negative to say. Or to not actually say anything negative, but to sit back and wait and watch people to fail. So the snake dieter has to reconcile with all of these forces that are against it and against the snake dieter. Snake diet is a defense against disease. Disease may get you no matter what. That's life on earth. But you may prevent several deadly diseases that may come from foodborne illnesses while only taking on one minor problem in your older ages, or none. You may make it to the Holy Land, which is to die in perfectly good shape, perfectly right frame of mind, perfectly working digestive system. You may pass on your bed in your home, surrounded by family and loved ones, and make an easy transition into the next life. Or if you don't believe in another life, at least you'll make a transition into not ever existing again. The snake diet is defense against social situations that ask you to join in and eat when you are on your snake diet, or to eat a spread of food that has nothing of nutritional value in it, just to be social, to eat that food because this is what people define as being sociable. It's defense against negative people who will tell you it's unsafe, you can die from it, your body won't be able to take it. Is it safe? There's other easier ways to lose weight. You don't have to be so extreme. It's defense against corporations that produce cereals that are nothing but sugar, candy corporations, beer corporations, liquor corporations, corporations that are dispersing thousands of different drugs that have thousands of different side effects, barely treating the symptoms and not the disease itself. Everybody wants to make money off of you and your impending doom when you give in to all the faulty systems that are out there. And then when you die, there's another sick person to take their place who will also receive a less than optimal solution to their problem. Now, time will tell whether fasting is the be all and end all. But if you look at my videos in 1 month, at what fasting has done to me, if you look at my blood test results, and I've made a video for it, you will see that I've come a long way from the person that I used to be in just a month. Let me give you some insight as to why I am soundly defending the snake diet and why I am on it right now. When I did my last powerlifting competition, when I left town to go to Chicago, it was a 3-hour drive ahead of me, and powerlifters, they need all the energy, fat, sugar that they can possibly muster for the day of the competition, because a powerlifting competition wears you out. Your bones hurt for a week after. You ache. You have exhausted yourself. You have pushed yourself to the absolute limit on the day of a competition. And it only makes sense that you eat well and you rest well, and that your muscles are saturated full of energy, meaning fat and sugar, because you have to stretch that sugar and fat out. You have to stretch that energy out. So this is what a lot of powerlifters like me do the day before a meet. The night before the meet, night before I woke up to drive to Chicago, I ate an extra large pizza. Took me about 4 hours to get through it, but it was a meat lover's pizza from Pizza Hut, and I ate the whole thing and went to sleep on that. And when I woke up in the morning, I grabbed my bags and I stopped by the gas station down the road from me, and I bought 4 apple fritters, a bag of trail mix, and a bag of cashews. I ate all of that before I reached Chicago. And then when I got to Chicago, before I arrived at the hotel, I bought a value meal from Wendy's. It was the triple cheeseburger, but I asked them to put bacon on it and extra cheese, and they had the Biggie Fry and the Biggie Frosty, and I bought and I also asked them to add on a large Coca-Cola to it. In the middle of the night, I woke up and went down to the concession stand at the hotel, and I bought a few cupcakes. I bought another bag of cashews, and I ate all of that and went back to sleep. Woke up and I ate again. In the morning I had breakfast. I had 10 eggs, 20 pieces of bacon, 12 sausages, 4 waffles with syrup on it, and say maybe about 4 potatoes worth of hash browns. And I drank close to a pot of coffee with heavy whipping cream and sugar in it. And I went into the competition and did great, hit the best numbers I've ever hit, because I trained right up to the competition and because I ate huge, right? After the competition, before the third part of the competition, which is the deadlift competition, or the deadlift part of the competition, I left the conference room where the meet was happening, and I went to the hotel restaurant and I ate 2 pieces of a flourless chocolate cake, finished the competition, and directly after the competition, because I was completely worn out, I went right to the hotel restaurant and I had their house double cheeseburger with all the fixings on it, more bacon, extra cheese, fried potatoes, a big Coke, and a beer. Then I went to the room and napped for a couple of hours, and my friends who had come with me, my buddy Jay and Melissa, we went out to Chicago, and before we came back, we went and we had a big meal. We went to another restaurant after we had the meal for just dessert, because they had an awesome pastry chef there, and Melissa wanted to try out the desserts, so I had some great coffee. I had chocolate lava cake. They had a big dessert spread for themselves. We're all just mashing food, right? And that was probably, I don't know, maybe 25,000 calories worth for the day of the meet. But I've given up on that sort of eating, because had I taken a blood panel directly when I got home, my blood panel results would have revealed somebody who was on the verge of dying. It just would have been the most atrocious blood panel results ever. Now, the fasting blood panel, after losing 47 pounds, because I was 396 pounds when I ate. No, I was 379 pounds when I did my meet in Chicago, when I ate that colossal amount of calories. But after getting down to 325 pounds and fasting, my blood panel results were not near perfect, but they're very close to being stellar. So if I can relate the snake diet, the foundation, what is the base of the snake diet? The base of the snake diet. Well, first, let me slow down. Let's think about the snake diet, and let's think about the concept of a base. What is a base? A base is a foundation. You build a house on a foundation. What is this movie based upon? What's the main idea? What do you base these accusations on? I'm going to tell you this based on X, Y, and Z. You build upon a base. The snake diet is building a base for you to build a better life through learning how to do fasting forced ketosis. This base that the snake diet asks you to build, first off, is the elimination of insulin that is rising and falling, rising and falling. And for many of us, me included, my insulin was out of control because my sugar was out of control. When you eat sugar, you release insulin. If you are diabetic, you are not producing insulin. And the little insulin that you do, your cells resist it. It's what's called being insulin resistant. When you take in sugar and it gets processed, it turns into glycogen. And the insulin says, and the pancreas says, okay, I need so much insulin because this person is eating so much sugar. And it throws out a matching amount of insulin through whatever chemical signals are happening in the dark there, right? And then the insulin and the sugar go knocking on the cell door. They say, hey, we're in the blood, can we come in? And if the cell says, no, I don't want you and your sugar to come in, the insulin and the sugar stay in the blood since the cells have resisted them. And you have high blood sugar. And the sugar ferments into a poison in your blood, and it goes into other organs of the body. And that's why people lose eyesight, limbs, other internal organs. That's why people have all these problems when they're insulin resistant, when they're diabetic, so they have to take massive amounts of insulin through pills or through a shot. And only some of that insulin and sugar are getting into the cells. So the snake diet asks you to eliminate insulin from your body by not eating sugar and letting your body handle whatever sugar you have, burning all that sugar out so your liver can produce ketones, and you'll be in a state of ketosis. In the ketones, now that they don't have the sugar, and now that you don't need insulin to break the sugar down for energy, you have to get energy from the next greatest source of energy that's packed on your body, which is the body fat. And the ketones are alcohols. They're classed as alcohols. Ketones are alcohols. There's 3 ketones that you want to be producing, because they will circulate through the blood and they will zero in on body fat, and they will just devour it day by day, night after night, 24 hours around the clock. That's why people who are on the snake diet can lose 1 to 3 pounds a day, because their liver's producing ketones like crazy. So when you accept what the snake diet is based upon, when you go in wholeheartedly and you do not let anything take you out of the mindset, the concepts of the snake diet in action will give you a different view of the world and put you in tune to your own physiology. You will be a better listener to your body. You will be a better listener to all the messages that are being given to you out there at your expense if you decide to follow them when it comes to your nutrition. You will also be able to make better decisions outside of the world of nutrition. You will make better decisions for your life. You will be of higher value because you will know more. Little things like that will expand into a greater knowledge of yourself and of others, and of who is with you and who is against you while you undertake the journey of the snake diet. And you will have a more powerful voice for others because you have learned to speak for yourself. You will be your own island, but you will not want to stay your own island because you will want to share this wealth. Because people will see these miraculous things going on right in front of their very eyes. And they'll want to know, they'll be curious. And if you are a true snake dieter, you will share the knowledge that you have. And you will tell people, if you don't understand something, you don't understand. But here is maybe where we should be looking to solve this issue that we're trying to figure out, that the snake diet has presented to us. But the snake diet itself is very, very simple. You fast, you drink salt water, you drink water, and you don't eat. And you pick a fasting, you pick whatever, however many hours you want to fast, and you complete that fast, and you eat a small meal, and you handle the temptation to eat more than what you have said you were going to eat when you break your fast, and you go right back into another fast. And at every stage, you are learning incredibly valuable things that you would not get if you did not do it for yourself. So again, snake diet is asking you to build a base. If you lay the foundation for a house, and the foundation is strong, and the materials are strong that you make the house out of, you'll have a hell of a house. You have a house that can last, But the house requires maintenance. So people will say, well, once you get off the snake diet, you're just going to gain all the way back. Well, why should that be? It'll only be that way if you decide to forget everything that you've learned, all the experience that you've acquired, and you just throw back the same old bullcrap that you've been doing. Yeah, of course you'll gain all your weight back. But maybe consider this. What if you do the snake diet, get to your optimal weight, whatever that is, and then you take on the task of learning how to eat to support the foundation, to support the house that you've lived in, to support the new house, the new structure that's built on a very strong base. I'm quite sure that that's possible. So, I want to thank you guys for tuning in. These are just my thoughts for the day, and I'll talk to you guys soon. Bye.